Pistons, and the Jazz here with a good victory, 96-86 in a low-scoring ball game, according to standards nowadays in the NBA. And the Pistons, the horrible start continues here. 2-8 they fall on the season in this loss. And right now we'll go to the Jazz side of things. Rudy Gobert, this guy's a rebounding and defensive machine. And in this one, 9 points, 19 rebounds and assists. And Gobert, that's what you're going to get from big rebound games. 10, 11 points, even though in this one he only had 4 and a block and a half to 2 a game. So Gobert, he's going to be fine. He's a fantasy stud, and he gives you a lot of intangibles at the center position. Bogdanovic, another mediocre game for him. 7 points, 6 boards, and an assist. 3-11 from the field. So Bogan, he's just not hitting threes so far this season, and he's struggling shooting. And for the most part, most of these Jazz players are. But he'll be fine. He's a player I would hold on to, and hopefully he gets it going. Donovan Mitchell, it's good to see him have a good field goal percentage and score 28 points in this one. 9 of 18 from the field, 2 rebounds, 3 assists in this one for Mitchell. So Mitchell, he was a stud. You drafted him second, third round of your leagues, and hopefully he gets it going now with his field goal percentage and points per game. And it was good to see him hit 4 threes. Royce O'Neal, he was a recommended ad this week heading into week 4, and he didn't have no points, but still O'Neal, he added other stats to his stat line. 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a few steals in this one as well. And O'Neal, he only had 2 shot attempts. So it was one of those nights for him. But Royce O'Neal, he's been starting every game here for Utah. And he's definitely a recommended ad and play this season in fantasy basketball. Mike Conley, a good game here. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 of 13 from the field, and 2 of 4 from 3. So Conley, he's been a pretty decent fantasy player this year. And the only question with him is health. I said to sell him high last week because he's going to have up and downs. And if you could get decent trade for him, I still would at this point. But right now, Conley with a good game. Jordan Clarkson, he was a recommended. Was Clarkson, 25 minutes of play, 18 points, 4 rebounds. So Jordan Clarkson, he's been a good player this season for fantasy owners. He's a player I said to recommend and add again this week, heading into week 4. You're going to get 3-point shooting from him. You're going to get scoring, a few rebounds. And in this game, 3 of 7 from the field, 7 of 15 at the field goal. So it's a good game for him. Joe Ingles, another guy, he's up and down, and he's a guy that could be droppable in shallower leagues. And in this one, only 9 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 of 5 from 3. So Ingles, he's the 6th or 7th man off the bench here for this Utah team. But his numbers haven't been up to par like they've been in recent years. So right now, if you want to get rid of him, you could do that. But if you don't have better options on the waiver wire, just hold on to Ingles for now. Derek Favors, he had a good one in this one. 6 points, 14 boards. But right now, he's not a recommended ad here in fantasy circles, is Derek Favors. So I would wait and see on him for Favors. Zhang in this one, he don't have value. Now to the Pistons side of things, Mason Plumlee, the numbers have really plummeted down for him the last few games. And in this one, 6 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 3 of 5 from the field. So Plumlee, I recommended him to sell him high now the last few weeks, and I probably will once again this week, even though his value's totally taken a hit. And in this game, he just hasn't done much as Plumlee, but he's still a guy that should be owned in most leagues. But I'm not expecting big stat lines. Jeremiah Grant, he continues to be the main man over here for Detroit with another huge game. 28 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 9 of 19 from the field, and he added 3 threes. So Grant, in the offseason, he got this big contract here from Detroit, and he's contributing. He's helping fantasy owners who got him late in drafts, and he's really putting up numbers. And I think it could continue to an extent. I don't think he's going to have 25 to 28 a game, but maybe 15, 20 points a game and add some assists and rebounds also. Josh Jackson, another bad game for him. 14 minutes of play, 2 points, 2 rebounds. So Jackson, he was a good ad the first few weeks of the season. But another guy here that's coming back down to his normal play is Jackson. So right now I would drop him in most leagues. He's just not producing. Blake Griffin, another poor game as far as scoring the basketball. Only 10 points, 6 rebounds, which is decent, 5 assists, which is real good. But now Griffin, all of a sudden, he's turning into a 3-point shooter. Another 7 attempts in this one, but he only hit 1. 4 or 12 from the field, which is under 40%, which isn't great. So hopefully Griffin, he could build his stamina up and get better, because so far this season, he's been injured. He's had the concussion and also the knee tightness. So Griffin right now, he's not doing much for fantasy owners, but you can't drop him. So hopefully he improves. DeLon Wright, he got the start, but no impact really for the Pistons or fantasy owners in this one. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 and 9 from the field here for DeLon Wright. So he's a guy, I wouldn't own him in leagues unless it's the deepest of leagues. Bay in this one, 27 minutes of play, 12 points, 3 boards, and an assist here for Bay. Bay right now, he's a guy you can look at, but that's more deeper leagues. 2 or 6 from the field, and the rest of the guys, Stewart, Ellington, Jackson, Okafor, Duba Boy, and no fantasy value. And Derrick Rose, he missed this game with left knee soreness, so hopefully he's day to day, and he comes back in the next Piston ball game for